We're going to start with Mark Ingram being moved over to the New Orleans Saints from the Houston Texans. I think there have been a lot of reaction to this. A lot of it's, well, he's past his prime. He's no good. A lot of it's, he can step right in. He knows the offense. He had a nice career with the Saints. Is that me? Man, we're off to a hot start here with sound. I think that's my laptop making. Yep, it was. Love those ads that you don't click on that just decide they're going to show up. But look, Mark Ingram's got to be the happiest guy in the NFL as of today. You move off a team whose last 2 weeks were a 62-8 beatdown at the hands of the Colts and the Cardinals. That doesn't even include a month ago when they lost to Buffalo 40-0. They have lost 6 straight and are terrible over there in Houston. Ingram back to New Orleans. You can plug him into the offense that he knows and understands. This is obviously a little bit different version of that offense, but what do you make of the move to bring Mark Ingram into New Orleans?
Yeah, I think it's a great move. I think the production you thought you were going to get from Tony Jones Jr., you quite haven't seen it. Not to the level that you want to have for a team that's, rivaling to win their division and obviously rivaling to get to the playoffs and have some success there. So you want guys you can trust. Obviously a guy like Mark who's been in this offense, who's had 1,000-yard seasons in this offense, knows his offense at a high level. And I think him and Kamara's always complement each other well. Hopefully they can pick up where they left off because I think I like that move.
He's 31 years old. He's been in Houston. He's been carrying the football. He carried it 26 times against the Jags in Week 1 and got 85 yards. Carried it 14 times against Cleveland in Week 2. 16 carries against New England. 18 carries against Indianapolis. Look, the Texans are atrocious. They're just awful. So trying to glean a bunch from his statistics is probably not a great errand. Some of it can be in garbage time when they're down 31-5 in an NFL game. They have a bad offensive line. My thoughts on this are, it's fine. It's fine. Like, this is not a number one corner. This is not a quarterback you're signing because yours got hurt. This is not your left tackle. This is a guy you're asking to come in, carry the ball a couple of times, catch a couple of checkdowns behind a really good offensive line, and help move the chains and spell Kamara every once in a while. Is he going to make a ton of big plays? No, he's not. He's past his prime. His yards per carry is not great. I mean, he carried it 6 times for 9 yards last week. He's just a complimentary piece, and he's not one that you've got to ramp up real quickly and teach the offense in a crash session. He's got a familiarity with Sean Payton and this offense, played here for a very long time. I think it's fine. It's not a long-term solution. It's not a season-changing play. It makes sense to me why they went out and got him.
Yeah, and especially if you see the production and I guess the amount of touches that Alvin Kamara has already had this season, it can be very alarming. Obviously, he's not Derrick Henry. He's not 250, 60-pound running back who can just kind of take that punishment. You want to keep Kamara fresh. This offense really revolves around him, especially with Michael Thomas being out. Just like you said, I think Mark Ingram's not a guy that you're going to give 20, 25 carries to a game. He's going to, come in and do some spell duty and do some short yardage stuff and do the things that he can do well as a football player to complement Alvin Kamara and the Saints offense. So I like the move. I'm excited to see what Sean Payton does and how he utilizes Mark Ingram in this offense.
He's a contemporary of yours. He's just a couple years older and obviously played the same position. How much do you think he still has left in the tank?
I think he has enough, man. I think if you watch the first game of the season, he looked pretty good. Obviously, it was against the Jaguars, but when you look at the talent they have on that team and just what's around him, just any production in that offense is impressive to me. So, obviously, he's going to have a world of a difference with the play calling, with Sean Payton calling plays in the offensive line, blocking in the run game. I would assume that he would have a boost in the numbers, especially the average, just by going to a better team.
Look, Saints and Bucks, primetime, well, not primetime, afternoon slot on Fox, 3:25 kickoff from the Dome. Right now, looks like Tampa's laying about 5.5 in that game. This is going to be the best atmosphere in the NFL this week. When you look at the Dome, Tampa coming in, you got a chance to tie for first place in the division if you can find a way to win this game on your home turf. Early thoughts on Saints and Bucks from you?
Man, if that offense can't get a little more explosive, and we've kind of seen their defense kind of put them in position to do that all year. Defense played lights out against the Packers, lights out against the Patriots. And they kind of allow that offense to kind of take their time and not really be that explosive. This is going to be the week where you gotta open it up. You're not going to go there and score 14 points or 17 points and think you're going to win that game, especially with that offense that they have and the quarterback that they have. James is going to have to open it up. So, like right now, if you tell me the Saints stick to what they've been doing all year, it doesn't look well. But maybe if Jameis can get hot, they maybe let him throw it 35 times and let that Kamara and Ingram, balance that out. Then I think the Saints would have a chance. But if not, then it's going to get ugly real quick.
Obviously, in rounds 1 and 2 last year, the Saints defense was excellent against this Tampa offense. They got going, and obviously round 3 doesn't go as well. Tampa goes and wins the Super Bowl, and they come out to a 6-1 start this year. I think the bigger story is not necessarily the Saints' defense against Tampa's offense, because I think the Saints will put up a fight against Tampa. Now, the Tampa will get theirs. They'll move the ball a little bit, and they'll score some points, but I don't expect Tampa to score 35 points in this game. I don't expect them to score 42 points in this game. I think the Saints will put up a fight. So the question to me is not there. It's the other side of the football, and this is where Mark Ingram kind of comes back in. As Sean Payton said, he absolutely expects to see him this week in the game against Tampa. Tampa allows 67 rushing yards a game. The Saints run it for 120. And if you take out the Carolina disaster, they're a physical, excellent running football team. That is the bigger question to me. Can the Saints run the ball and establish long drives against this Tampa Bay front, which is among the toughest in the league?
Yeah, that's going to be the question. And what I've seen all year, how teams are attacking Tampa, they don't even try. They don't even try to get those attempts up. They're trying.
That's not going to be the case this weekend.
Oh, yeah. Sean's got to try them. He has that arrogance, cockiness as a head coach. He's got to at least try to get the run game going. The last thing he wants is Jameis dropping back with that pass rush, 40, 50 times and trying to win that game against Tom Brady. Those quarterbacks dueling head-to-head. You got to give that edge to Tom every time. So I think for the Saints, it's a strategy, what they've been using all year. Play good, sound defense, don't give up big plays, and try to just get the run game going, check it down to Kamara, try to stay out of harm's way. And I think that's going to be their best effort to really try to win this football game, because when I look at the receivers on the outside and the tight ends and everything of that nature, I just don't see how Jameis can really go out there, throw for 4 or 5 touchdowns and 300-plus yards. I just don't think that's going to be their avenue to win this football game.
I want to circle back because obviously this is right in your wheelhouse, and it's such an interesting story. But so 2 things on the Saints running back spot. One, is it realistic for Mark Ingram to show up in New Orleans on Wednesday or Thursday, whenever it may have been, whether it was yesterday or today, and play on Sunday for this team? Is that realistic?
Oh, that's very realistic. Just obviously in the NFL, you'll see, especially it's really kind of a backup quarterback thing and a backup thing, but they want guys in there that knows the system. And you hear this language, you hear these lingos, you hear the the play call terms for that many years and that amount of time. It kind of gets ingrained in your head, and you don't forget that stuff, and you kind of just pick up and roll with it when you get back. And that's why I think they went that direction with the running back. They could have, hit the free agency pool. They could have made a trade for another guy, but they found a guy that they knew they can get, production from right away because he was in that system before.
Okay, now I want to switch over to Kamara. Clearly, what we saw on Monday night every week is not sustainable in terms of a workload for a running back. They bring in Ingram to spell him a little bit. They're going to get Mike Thomas back eventually. They're going to lessen the workload a little bit, but how much? I mean, what realistically is his body going to feel like at the end of November if they keep this up?
It's not going to be good. He's a 215-pound running back. So, yes, he works his tail off. He's one of the probably most hardworking running backs I've seen in this league, especially the offseason stuff that he puts his body through. But, man, there's a reason why the shelf lives of running backs aren't that long. You take a pounding. Every defensive coordinator is going to start that meeting on Wednesday morning. We got to hit Kamara. We got to stop this guy, and everyone in the league knows that. So you keep going at the rate he's going at. He's already at 114 carries through 6 games. You're going to be pushing 300, and you throw that on top of all the receptions he's got to get on top of it.
That's the issue.
It's got to get a little out of hand. So I think this is the perfect time to do it. You kind of saw where your offense was headed, and that's Kamara just being the sunshine, the rainbow, and everything for that offense. So you got to take a little off his plate if you want to make that playoff push like the Saints believe they really can.
Such a big game. I think he's the best guy you got. He's got to get the ball again a lot, and you got to hope that down the line, once you get some guys back, that you can lessen that workload, maybe work Ingram in a little bit more, and then obviously Thomas coming in should take a huge workload off his plate as that becomes the primary target, and not just check it down and see what linebacker Kamara can make miss and give me 8 yards. But fascinating, huge game on Sunday. I'm sure you all talk about it a bunch tomorrow as the Saints get ready for Tampa entering the Dome. Should be a raucous environment, and opportunity again for the Saints to move into first place tie with the Bucs if they can win this game. not something we probably thought after you just laid a clunker against Carolina and then the Giants beat you. So a big showdown for the Saints this weekend.